is live. Now I just want to see how people are hearing us or not hearing us. Yeah, so people can hear us. That's good. I actually thought it would wouldn't be this smooth, to be honest. Oh man. I'm probably echoing because I got recorded on my desktop, but we can hear well I hear yeah. I just muted myself, so Shoki, I mean Neo says he's not coming. Anybody else is more than welcome to come. I won't believe this is happening until I see everyone. Yeah, I mean, I'm about to open up a little Discord now, mainly for the reasons just to have conversations in gaming now. I mean, it is a good program. I mean, I'm not going to be using this to dwell in the chats and not all that stupid crap. Yeah, I mean, we went from Skype. We went from yeah, I mean, like this, like my life has been so much better. We're not like dealing in these Discord chats and just people talking. I'm like, dog, y'all even have lives? Like, what is going on? Agreed. Look, if it's 7:15 and nobody comes, anybody is free to come join this. Should be there. I'm about to re-put it in there though. Yeah, I put it in my you know what it was? I put it in the Universal one, so any new video I would have puts up. But since this one was technically already put up for 2 weeks, it probably didn't. You know what I mean? Oh, what the fuck was that? No, something happened. Oh, okay. It's better now. I don't know what the hell just happened. I hit something and no, it's good now. Something just happened and it flipped because I think I opened up a new window. Technical difficulties, people were good. Can't says he can't hear the other guy. We know I'm about to do then. They should be able to hear you. Speak now.
Check, check 1 2, check 1 2.
Let me turn that down. Yeah, they should be able to hear you now.
Hello, check 1 2. Ladies and gentlemen, citizens of the Crumb Side. Can you hear me?
One's in the chat if you can hear him now. I mean, the audio is coming on, so I definitely see it.
Yeah, you and I can hear each other just fine. You know what? I should probably log in here so I can be in the chat.
Xander, can you hear Exposer? I need ones in the chat if you can hear him.
Hello.
All right, they hear you. All right, is he too?
There we go.
Is he too loud though?
I am using a Blue Yeti mic, so it is pretty. These mics are pretty sensitive.
Yeah, I turned it down like 10 because when you were talking, I was like, God damn,
And I also have a naturally loud voice as it is.
that too. Audio check, is it fine? I saw I could hear myself properly. Can you hear exposure fine?
Yeah, it looks like they can hear me now.
They can hear you. I don't know if you're too loud or you're fine though.
All right, let's say one person said I'm good.
He's good.
Good. Awesome.
All right. We're gonna start this at 7:15. People can pile in. Oh, that's sad. I don't have faith in my people to show up on time. Your chat seems
Well,
too delayed. Volume is fine. Well, chat. What do you mean by chat? Like my audio?
I think they're talking about the text chat itself, but that might just be because of who's in here right now and who's typing. There may not be that many people typing, so it may seem like it's delayed.
I mean, as long as every, I don't know. Like I said, first time for everything. We'll get better.
Yeah.
That's actually better, top to bottom. So, without getting too personal, I mean, since we got about 5-10 minutes to kill, let the people know what you've been up to lately. We got new content coming. What are you seeing out in these streets? People frauding, people honest. Who you watching? What's going on?
Well, I mean, I'm just living life, trying to get some things done. Got a lot of stuff going on in my personal life. Honestly, I am kind of enjoying the peace of mind of being away from YouTube and not having to subject myself to idiots and frauds and all the riffraff going on the internet. Um, Besides who I'm watching a lot of there's a YouTube channel called The Vile Eye. He has a series called Analyzing Evil that I really love.
Analyzing
Uh,
evil.
yeah.
It sounds like a fire catchphrase. Analyzing evil.
It is. And he basically just makes videos about going into detail about certain, villains in fictional media.
Hold on 1 second. Yeah, the reason you're not seeing, I mean, I guess I could change that. I normally have a 30, 60-second delay in the chat in case somebody says something crazy. I think I should still keep. There's a way to change that though, isn't there?
I don't know. I am seeing a delay in the video as well.
Yeah, I mean that's gonna be. That's something we'll fix later, but
All right.
I could test around and mess with that. But as long as the audio is fine, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm good.
I mean, as far as like any new content, I mean, I know it's been over 3 years since I've made a video, and I do eventually want to come back, but I got stuff going on in my personal life, and honestly, I just don't have the motivation. And getting my main channel terminated due to false flagging for over 2 years. I did get it back, but it was gone for over 2 years. That kind of took the wind out of my sails a bit. I really don't have a whole lot of motivation because of that.
Agreed. It is hard to be motivated to make videos, but let's just say, oh, somebody actually knows. Mike Cassius, he made a video on Aaron, Dio, and Kira. So that guy you're watching is definitely up and on the up.
I do remember the video about Dio.
Dio is a generational hater. He definitely is.
He's made at least 2 JoJo videos.
Dio's definitely a hater. But let's just say you could drop 3 videos tomorrow without spending the time to read. They were just finished products tomorrow. You don't have to spend hours researching or doing anything. What would they be?
Oh shit!
They just magically appear tomorrow.
Fuck, dude, I don't know. Like I'm pretty much at square one with pretty much. I have ideas. Don't get me wrong. I have a whole list of ideas that I would like to do, but they're all going to take a pretty good amount of work.
That's what I'm saying.
I guess
if they were just out
one
tomorrow.
of them. Okay, I guess one of them. I did have an idea about doing like an exaggerated version of like the drizzle movement. I to do something like that.
Yo, my one boy be killing me with that shit, yo.
Talk about these women being broke dusties and how the hell can't you make $12 million a second in this day and age? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
God. That shit is funny as hell. Huh. So let's get started. If people want to join in, they can. If anybody has beaten this game and wants to talk about it, the link is right at the top of the Discord. I'll host 4 to 6 people, maybe. If y'all have legitimately beat this, you don't have to be on camera. All good. When I fix the camera delay things, we can talk. We can do it that way. But for right now, I'm just gonna be talking. But here's how I want to. And you can add to this if you want. Here's how I want.
Okay.
Here's how I judge JRPGs. I mean, I'm not saying that you're not a big fan of this, but you know this is my genre. This is my bread and butter. So 1, 2. So how I judge JRPGs, because not only will this be a review of the game, I judge them in the 8 categories. Maybe I'm missing some, so you can add, and we're gonna put this in order too. So characters, I feel are important. Story, I feel that are important.
Yeah.
The world. I guess world and atmosphere would be one. That'd be combined technically, right?
They can sometimes be different, but they're usually
I'm gonna do
connected,
different. I'll tell you why. Because to me, the world would be what the world is in this game, and the atmosphere would be more of like that French vibe, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Sure.
So I have music, obviously a big one. Protagonist, antagonist, which could be multiple ones. The overall theme, the battle system, and then lastly would be like the graphics and the style. Those are the top 10. This isn't any order, but I'm just saying these are the top 10 things I judge a JRPG on.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Villain, I would add that.
Well,
Villain,
that would be the antagonist.
I missed that. I'm dumb.
So, all right, I'll put this on the screen right here so you can see it real quick. Let me get this down. And pardon me, it's going to be like a 60-second delay, but you'll see it. So, let's rank these. Number 1, I got to go story. Number 2, characters. Are we in agreement on that?
No.
Okay.
My number 1 for any video game, period. It doesn't matter if it's JRPG, first person shooter, anything. Gameplay, battle system, anything that falls under the gameplay umbrella. That should be the number 1 aspect, the most important aspect of any video game. Period.
I will disagree on that. Just in the genre of what I call menu clickers. Is it important? Yes. Right. I don't think, just in this genre specifically, I don't think it's number 1. All right, what do you have as 2 and 3 then? Well, you can see the top 10 now on the screen, right? In the stream.
It's small, but I can.
You know what?
Story. Okay, story. I see it. Story, characters, world, atmosphere.
This is
music,
dumb.
Antagonist theme, battle system. Like I said, I still
hold on. I'm just gonna tweet you these because I don't know why I have this on the screen. It's just really dumb.
Because here's the thing. Even I get that we are talking about menu clickers, but the reason why story cannot be number 1 is because if I want to just experience the story, whether it be RPG, whatever, I don't have to play the game to do it.
True.
I could just go on YouTube, watch a Let's Play, have somebody, sit next to me and play it while I watch, and I can experience the story without engaging in the game the way it's meant to be engaged in.
All right, well, how about this? I gave you the top 10, right? You create your top 10, I'll create my top 10, and then we're going to compare.
Okay. So let me get my notepad out here.
I sent you the tweet.
Okay. open it up here. Okay. So I would go.
You don't have to say it out loud. Just make it a 10, and then I'll make my 10, then we're
Yeah.
going to go.
Give me a
Oh,
second.
dude, this is hard.
Slash gameplay. Number 2.
It's getting hard, right?
This is where it's already kind of getting hard because story and characters are like that's a toss up. I would have okay. I think I got it. Number 3. Crap. Characters. Number 4.
And don't get it twisted. There are some games where the battle system just trumps all.
Oh yeah, for
But
sure.
this is just going to be my general.
The list is kind of redundant because protagonists and antagonists will both fall under characters.
Not necessarily. Because, for example,
Oh, you're talking about side characters?
yeah, we're talking about Cloud,
Okay.
just for Final Fantasy VII, because more people like that. Cloud, protagonist, Sephiroth, antagonist. But what happens if the rest of the
that
characters outside of that were trash? Or what happens if those characters are good?
Gotcha.
So that's
Okay,
why
in that
that's why they're
case-
different.
In that case, tennis number 5. Characters, okay. Number 6.
I got my general list.
Theme number 8. Story characters, world.
So Neo said he wasn't showing up. Shokyo, that nigga ain't gonna show up for his funeral.
Okay. I'm just looking over your list because I'm missing 2 for some reason. Story, okay. Characters, yes. Atmosphere, yes. Protagonist, antagonist, yes. Theme, yes. Battle system. What am I Your list has 10, but my list is only about to have 9. What am I missing? I'm
Story, characters, antagonist, protagonist, the theme, the music, the battle system.
Oh, music.
Okay.
Okay, got it. That's what it was. Theme. I would say. So now I got to rearrange this. Okay. I'm going to do this. Okay. Battle system, story. Okay. Characters.
You know,
this is tough to do on the fly. We should have done this.
No, it makes it more interesting because you got to see, you got to do it on the fly. But it's funny. A lot of people wanted to talk about this, but a lot of people don't want to show up.
Okay. I mean, we all know what's last.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Okay. Just looking over to make sure I haven't forgotten anything. Story, check. World, check. Atmosphere. There it is. Okay.
I'm ready.
All right. I think I got it now.
All right.
Copy that. Bam. I just sent you my list.
All right. I'll compare it with mine. All right. So you have battle system gameplay as 1. Okay.
Yep.
I've got story as 1. You have story as 2. We're both thinking the same thing as antagonist is 3, because to me, the villain is way more important than the protagonist.
For sure.
So we're both on the same page with that. We both have protagonists as 4. Okay, you have characters as 5. I could see that. I mean, to me, like, I have 2 because I just think the larger ensemble of characters just ties everything together.
Right.
what we? I had the theme. Oh, somebody's joining. Hold on. Who's this? A new challenger has approached. It's just
Who we
M.
got here?
It's Mellow. I don't know who this is. But we'll continue until he gets his stuff set up or whatever.
All right.
So where you at? You had the world at 6. I had 5 and 6. You had characters world. I had the theme and music. 'Cause I think the theme is more important than the world and the atmosphere. Because the theme is the overall general. Are we steampunk? Are we medieval? Are we future? Like I like playing games that have different themes.
Well, the reason why I had that a little bit lower is because it's kind of, but not really similar to the graphics umbrella. It's almost like it's like another word of saying art style, basically.
Yeah, and we both have graphics and atmosphere at the bottom, sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, we're pretty much the same, except for battle system.
Yeah. Like I said, I value the gameplay above all else in any video game.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's a menu clicker, doesn't matter if it's a fighting game, doesn't any type of game. It's a video game. That's what separates it from all other artistic media is that interactivity. So it by default it needs to be number one.
You know what? I should have put in that I didn't put in. This would either have been 2 separate categories or one. Either the systems of the game, either with that being within the battle system, or like the systems in the game. Like for example, like FF6, the Esper system, or the Materia system, or
I just consider that all part of gameplay.
Okay, so that would change my list then. Because battle system, yeah. So
yeah,
if that
anything that has to do with the element of gameplay, that's what it falls into.
The systems, the equipment, everything. So if that was the case, I would move the system above music and theme. I would put it at 5. I would put it below story, characters, antagonists, protagonists. Then I would put it above theme, music, graphics, world, atmosphere. So I would bump it up to 5. Who is the dude that joined the chat? I mean, you just chilling, or you want to say hi?
He said, "Hold up, he needs to fix his mic."
Oh, okay.
Wait, we got 2 people in here now.
I only see 1.
I see MDZ79. He says the voice thing is on, but I don't hear anything. And then ObenJ97.
Do I have him muted? No, he's not me. He doesn't have anything plugged in.
Okay, no, nothing on my end. The OpenJ97 is just in the server. I don't think you're in the actual chat or whatnot.
Does he need to be added as a friend? So it says he's deafened. It is MDZ. Maybe I have to add him as a friend so he can speak. Who knows? Let's see.
But yeah, I mean, while you're doing that, I'll just go ahead and explain my my position on this specific game, Expedition 33. I think the game is good. Don't get me wrong. It's great even. I'd give it a solid 8 out of 10. But my issue is with all these people talk about 10 out of 10, 20 out of 10, game of the year, every year, game of the generation. Like, shut your fraudulent, disingenuous, hyperbole swollen asses the fuck up, please.
That shit did.
I swear
that shit did piss me off. I mean, it's like, I don't know. To me, the best equivalent I could be is you just saw a dude drop like 40 points in a game and you called him like the next Jordan. Like, dog, come on. Like,
I know.
It ain't
I mean,
that serious.
Some of the overhyping and glazing that I've seen for this game has been beyond pathetic. We got grown ass men online sucking this game off like they're short on cash and the rents due. Like, they're even going so far as to downplay, dismiss, and outright slander classic RPGs. I mean, you played that one clip on your Twitter, the dude saying Final Fantasy VI sucks. And Expedition 33 is just the GOAT. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
I really hate to say this. the glazing did affect my enjoyment of the game, probably up
Hmm.
until the first act, because like I'm literally hearing from people like Shokyo that this is legitimately a top 5 game ever, and
Yeah,
I'm just
and
like, and
you know what that does?
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting. It's like
Yeah,
you tell me this is a top 5 dish ever of food, top 5 anything of all time. Like I'm waiting to see it, and then when it
it sets
finally
up an
comes,
expectation.
yes, exactly,
It sets
and
up an expectation that it can't possibly meet.
no, no, and again, I gave the game. See, here's how I rate games. I give games 2 ratings, possibly 3. I give a
Hmm.
game an absolute low and an absolute high. I tend to stick on the highest of the rating, so probably only 2. So at the
Hmm.
highest this game could get to me is an 8.5, and that's what I rate the
Right.
game. The
Yeah.
absolute lowest I think this game could go is a 7.5. So when I give my
That's about where I'm
yep,
at.
when I give my ratings, I give 2 ratings. What is the absolute lowest I feel it could be, where anybody could objectively see it, and then what would be the highest? And the highest is typically how I review it, because why would I not be giving it the highest? You know what I mean? Because that's how I felt about it. But yeah,
Yep.
so 8. I don't think objectively I see it being higher than an 8.5. But at the same time, if you give it lower than a 7.5, I just think you're kind of delusional, and
Yeah,
you're just
that's
dumb.
exactly where I'm at. That's why I'm right in the middle. 8 out of 10.
Yep.
Solid.
Yep. So let's go down the list of things real quick, and I guess we can do story last. I mean, we don't got to do this in order, but let's do things that are the quickest.
Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yes, we hear you. What's up, MDZ?
Yo, I'm good.
You're good. Got to turn your mic up a little bit. I got you. Sorry, a little new to this.
Good.
We'll get it though. First try isn't the worst try. But yeah,
As long as they can hear us, that's all that really matters.
yeah. I mean, I can fix
Yeah, I
my
know.
camera and all that stuff later. It's probably also because I'm recording in 4K and streaming off the same camera and everything, but it's what it is. So, how long have you been watching so far, MDZ?
This stream
Yes.
for a long time
No, I mean like
while playing
this
the guide.
this current stream right here.
Yes,
Oh, you've been watching
been
from the
watching
beginning?
since. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So, where do you generally fall in reviewing this game?
Hmm. Around a 7 or an 8.
7
At
or 8?
worst, a 7. At worst, at a 7. At best, an 8.
Okay. And if you don't mind me asking,
Uh,
like, I'm not trying to jump down your neck or berate you or anything, but like, how long have you been? Is this like a genre you play a lot, or is this something you just started playing, or do you have a long history with it?
I have a long history with playing JRPGs ever since.
Where'd you start?
Um, I started with Final Fantasy 1,
Oh
2,
shit.
with yeah,
On
but
NES.
way yeah, way back. My cousin introduced me to Final Fantasy and Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1. So
That's pretty good.
So yeah, we got
I've
the
been playing
right guy right here.
yeah, I've been playing Final Fantasy 4, 5, and 6 as well. Uh, I beat 4 to 10 and maybe 13 as well. That day that in 2010 on the PS3. I was not impressed with Final Fantasy 13 because
the
it felt
endless
empty
hall,
after beating it.
the endless hallway.
Yeah, yeah, no exploration. The story was not necessarily bad, but there's something that felt empty, like
13 sucked.
exploring.
I hated it.
Yeah,
And it was a shame too, because some of the characters looked pretty cool and were likable as well.
I agree.
So we had talked about the top 10 things we rank and rate JRPGs on, or even RPGs in general. Are you in a general consensus? Those are the top 10 things you look for in a JRPG, or are there any other categories you'd like to add?
I think 10 is good. So
No,
10
I mean like when we were
categories.
talking about like story, characters, antagonists, protagonists, the battle theme. I mean the battle system, the theme, the music, the graphics, the world, the atmosphere. Is there anything else you look forward to in this kind of game, or is that pretty much how you judge it, like we judge it?
I think, let's say if everything hits, let's say the battle system is good, the soundtrack is good, it's good, the characters are good, the villains are good, especially the way it is executed, I will consider it a GOAT RPG.
Okay.
That's my personal opinion.
So let's talk about some of these categories real quick because I think suppose like dissecting each of these categories will get us to where we want to go so people can get like an accurate representation of what we feel like this game is without just slogging on it or just going. We can break it down piece by piece. So
Yeah.
what did you I guess I'll set the tone, the atmosphere of this game. I kind of like the atmosphere. You know, it was kind of barren, empty. Like you kind of felt like the atmosphere to me was you're a survivor. There's not very much help you can recruit. There's not any armies you can get. The atmosphere was like this is our squad, and like if we don't do it, it's a wrap. There's no reinforcements. There's no going back. Like essentially, this is like a suicide mission. That's the kind of atmosphere I always get when I played the game.
It kind of felt like French Final Fantasy X.
Yes, except for my only problem with that battle is you couldn't swap people out like FF10's
Yeah.
battle system.
It has that whole thing in the corner of whose turn it is,
Yep.
like in Final Fantasy X, but you couldn't switch on the fly
Oh, I
like in
hated
Final
that.
Fantasy X.
And it sucked because you had two bench characters, which I rarely used because I wanted to pop luminous points into my favorite three characters. But, you know,
Yeah.
if I could swap characters in and out in between, I mean, you could have also.
It'd be a lot more interesting.
Yes, there would be a lot more combinations and things to do.
And
Which
plus, it would
character
further show that Final Fantasy influence that the development team was talking about.
But yeah, overall, I thought the atmosphere of the game was good, solid, no complaints about it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. No problems, no
Definitely
real
good.
issues.
The world, I did have issues with. And before I even get into the world, this is spoilers. So if you haven't played this game, it does say full spoilers in there. There's Smooth.
Uh-oh, Smooth's here.
What's up, Smooth? Oh, we got other people coming in.
What's up? What's up? What's
Nice.
up?
What's up, Smooth?
me-
Oban J is in here. So we got to rewind a bit real
And-
quick.
I know we was going live. I know we was going. I thought we were going to reschedule. That's what I was like.
We
But
kind of rescheduled twice. So, oh, the homie Smooth over here. I know you rich as hell right now, Smooth. How them pockets feeling lately? I know you got mad money. I know. You probably taking the kids to Six Flags every weekend. Bought them a Switch to day one.
No, actually, no. You gotta consider like every time when a core leaves, like there is a negative effect. So it's actually been no net change actually.
What's the negative effect?
Ain't somebody
Um,
else's bets.
Huh? The negative. Oh, so you talking about for like bet wise? I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
you got a lot of money though, man. Like, come on. I know your wife happy. Like, god damn, nigga ain't wasting my money no more. I know she's happy.
About to take him to Gambling's Anonymous.
Yeah, I know them kids probably got brand new Switch 2s. Like, Daddy, how'd you get this thing? Well, don't worry, I got money now. What these net negatives you talking about?
No, it's all right. No, I forgot about the bets. But no, it does feel good not to like have a monthly payout of a bet.
I mean, we still got bets on the table. There's,
Actually, what's left?
Oh, you want me to bring it up? Let me hold up. Let me bring it up.
It's
I'm
definitely Switch 2.
gonna bring this bad boy up. You know, I'm surprised you did not bet Expedition.
Well,
Nobody knew.
there was nobody, and it was way out of my like realm of like, even though I was intrigued by it, just graphically it was way out of my realm of interest at that point in time. Well,
So-
all I knew it was a good looking game but it was turn based, so
You
I
came
had no-
on board once everybody started glazing it, just like most everybody else.
no, actually, believe it or not, I had access. I had review access to the game.
Oh shit.
So, but the thing is that I feel like I was in the middle of playing something so I didn't jump right on. By the time I got to it, it was right before everybody else would have access to it, essentially.
So
So-
can you see the bet list on the current screen right now?
On YouTube, I can see it.
Yeah, on
I don't see it
YouTube.
on like. Yes, hold on, let me see.
I'll blow it up
zoom
for you.
in.
I don't see anything.
I see it.
I got it blown up now. It should be right on YouTube. That's the bet list move. So
All right.
there's some in here you could still probably win. I mean, the Switch looks like it could pass. Actually, no, because the Switch had to pass PS2 total sales before the Switch 2 came out.
Oops.
So that's an L, Smooth.
That's my bet. A blender bet. Why would I bet on a Switch?
I mean, I got the dates here. We can go back and check. Don't tell BG not to delete them videos.
Let's say, do you have the audio just to be sure?
I think it was Blandrew.
No,
Well,
this is no. If it's anybody else, it'll have it. Like this one's highlighted BG. Perfect Dark before Tomb Raider bet is still on there. The next 3 games of service games released day 1 on PS5, PC. Shit, that could be decided. I don't know what we're on now. BG, that's a bet with BG. Towerborn is still up there. You had FF7 Part 3 will be on Xbox day 1. I mean, after yesterday's move, that could be a possibility. The next major Square Enix release will be on Xbox day 1. BG had a Battlefield bet. This one bet though, BG beating 25 games in 2025 new. There's no way that's happening. There's no way. And you bet Outer Worlds 2 will be 87 or higher.
Okay, well, damn that. Okay, I mean, does the it's $80 plus plus tax?
Oh, look! Do you see what's wrong with this list right here? Tell me what's wrong with this list right here. The last bet was in December. It's now June. God damn, that's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
I'm averaging like 2-3. Oh man, that's crazy. I should have been compensated with the severance package on that something with that, man.
Hey, did I win that Gear 6 though?
We negated that because technically it wasn't. Well, you technically lost because it's technically not. It technically
Gears of War. It's a prequel. That's
Exactly.
All right, I get.
So
okay,
it technically
fair enough.
wasn't Gears of War 6. And look, say whatever you want about the bets. I'm a fair guy. I was like, look, it's a new game, but it's not Gears 6, so we'll watch it. That was fair,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
That was fair, right? I mean, by the letter,
No, that was-
by the letter of the law, I could have taken that money, but I'm not like that person. So, damn, now we got sidetracked. But you know, actually, good to see you again, Smooth. It's always good to see the homie. I mean, Smooth, regardless of what's ever happened in the past. I mean, you threatening to blow my kneecaps out or whatever. I feel that
bro, dude. Like I take back anything, dude. You've seen the person that actually followed through with his threat.
Who? Black
The
Lebowski?
YouTuber, no, the YouTuber that these 2 YouTubers, dude, killed another YouTuber in Vegas
Oh,
while he was
shit.
live streaming.
What?
This happened yesterday.
Oh, damn.
Damn.
Yeah, like him and his wife while they were live streaming.
Damn.
Like he was walking, he was looking for them, and then he just happened to run into him, and that was his opportunity, and he took it. I was like, "Yep, I'm not." All because of exclusively off internet YouTube beef. It was nothing else.
Damn. That's crazy. I mean, look, Smooth, we've been through a lot. There ain't no hard feelings, there ain't no beef or anything. But you know what? You do bring up a good point. Not to say that I'm anybody that would ever do anything crazy like that. I'm not like Fratang. I would never do anything crazy over YouTube. But there's certain things, and obviously I'm not even trying to delve into them in regards to YouTube, but like, there's adult ways to handle things, and there's childish ways to handle things, and we'll just leave it at that.
I mean, mental illness is a hell of a drug.
It can be, but how long have you been watching the stream? So have you been paying attention the whole time, or?
No, dude, I happened to get on a computer and I saw that you were live, and I was like, oh shit, I'm supposed to be in there.
All right. So just to catch you up real quick. See, it's
Yep.
I want you in here because you're a different kind of voice for this topic, but at the same time, like, we came up with 10 categories that we looked through for a good JRPG: story, characters, antagonists, protagonists, the battle system, the theme, the music, the graphics, the world, the atmosphere. Like, I would like to ask you if that's what you look for, but this is the first turn-based RPG you've beaten and played, correct?
Yeah, of this, yeah, I could say that, yeah.
All right, and Oban J, does anybody know who this is?
Nah. Hello?
Yeah, we hear you.
You hear
What's
me?
up?
Okay. Hey, what's up?
What's going on? Just assuming, I mean, if I'm wrong, but you have finished the game, correct?
Yes, I did.
And what were your general thoughts on it? Because then we're gonna let Smooth take it away.
Okay. I really enjoyed the game. My experience with this kind of genre is very, I say, limited. I think I might have maybe 4 or 5 games possibly that are kind of like this, but overall, this is one of my favorite ones I've played. Other than it's this one, and then Persona 5 is the one I've really enjoyed.
All right, what was the first turn-based JRPG you've played, if you don't mind me asking?
I think it might have been Persona 5. I think.
All right, so
Like, I'm very new.
so you're
I'm very new to
you're
this.
relatively new, okay. So
Oh yeah.
me and MDZ are pretty much OGs. I'm assuming, if I were to guess exposure, I think you probably started on the Super Nintendo, maybe?
Technically PS1. I was kind of exposed to JRPGs on the SNES, but I kind of thought they were boring. But then I managed to rent the first Persona game one day because my video store didn't really have anything and I didn't want to walk out empty-handed. So I gave it a try. I was like, it's actually pretty good. I'm actually, maybe I was actually a little too hard on these type of games. Then I went back and played Final Fantasy. I played Final Fantasy 7. That was pretty much a wrap. I went back, played Final Fantasy 6, played 5. I played one of the Tales games. I've played, I think, the first Star Ocean or second one. I'm not sure. I have a decent amount of experience with JRPGs. You know, Ni no Kuni. I mean, there's too many to list off, but yeah, I have a pretty good amount of experience with turn-based JRPGs.
All right, so we got 2 OGs, person that came in pretty much in its prominence, and we got 2 noobs. So I think that's a good way to round it out, pretty much. So the first topic we're talking about, Smooth and Oban J, is what did you think about the atmosphere of the game? That's where we left off before you guys joined in.
Okay. Well, I could tackle that. So, the atmosphere of the game, I thought they did an incredible job with it, making me feel like that no matter what biome or the world I was in, the situation I was in, it felt very like dire. You know what I mean? We have a lot of like apocalyptic games and stuff like this, but like it seemed like it was depressing. It was a depressing atmosphere, and everything from essentially like honestly from start to finish, especially the world they introduce you to at the start of the game, and you kind of see what's going on, and it's like because of like the trailers, we knew something was going to happen, you know, to these people. And up into that lead up where they get to that island, and then they get to see what the hell they're dealing with. Like from there on, after that point, like hooked me in, and I was interested because all I could think about after that first encounter happened, I was like, all right, how am I going to get through that? Like, how am I going to get strong enough to fight through this? Because that was actually intimidating. But no, everything from like, you know, again, the world, the characters, the mood that they built.
Well, we're just on atmosphere right now, but we were gonna hit all those other things like characters.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, no, absolutely. They all, I feel like they all play a part in building the proper atmosphere of the game, though. But nah, I think it's up there.
You know what's crazy? Me and you literally had the same opinion on that. See, you're growing, Smooth. I like this. I like to see you grow. Obound, what did you think about the atmosphere of the game?
I kind of want to echo some of the things that Smooth was talking about. It's very depressing, especially when you're going through the world and you have to go and pick up these. I forgot what they're called, like the little messages, the expedition.
The
What are they
logs,
called?
The logs and journals.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Going through that and then saying how close people were to kind of figuring things out, but also figuring out like a lot of people they were just completely out the loop and weren't even close to figuring out anything. So yeah, it's very depressing. And then thinking about the what do you call it, the Gumage, and how like every year, you know, like basically the warriors that are going out and doing expeditions, they're getting like younger and younger each time. So that's about it. It's just depressing, just how the world is. But I really enjoyed it.
So pretty much, I mean, Exposure, you pretty much feel the same way, right? Everybody is pretty much on the same page of that.
Yeah, pretty much. Again, it was like French Final Fantasy X. There were even a few spots, a few little areas like cities and whatnot, little small areas that almost felt like Xanarkand from Final Fantasy X in a way.
Well,
So-
it's funny you say that. A lot of people, a lot of the, I'll just call them morons that say JRPGs suck, FF6 sucks, Suikoden sucks, this game sucks, that game sucks. The main creator,
a lot of them influenced this
yeah,
game.
exactly. Like the creator of this game essentially would be me if I made a game. Like all his favorite top games are games I have on this shelf behind me and like. So that's kind of weird.
He said one of his main influences was Final Fantasy VIII,
Yep.
and you can see that within the battle system.
Yep.
The whole Picto Luminous thing.
The 3
that
characters,
is
not 4 or 5.
That's a mixture. The whole Luminous Picto system, that's a combination of the job system from Final Fantasy V and the junction system from Final Fantasy VIII.
Yep.
Oh, a lot of you motherfuckers trashing all these classic games just to prop this game up. You're trashing the games that if it weren't for those games, this game would not exist.
Not at all. So,
Oh, the exploration. Oh, sorry.
yeah.
The exploration is also based on Ni no Kuni. If you go out and walk, it reminds me of that, but it's a bit empty.
Yep. That's what
the
we're going.
other thing-
That's what we're going to next. The world. So take it away. We're on it. No, keep going because the next topic was the world. You're on it.
So it reminds me of Ni no Kuni because I played and beat Ni no Kuni on the PS3. So that reminds me of that. The downside of it was there was not enough of people there. No cities. Maybe one city, from what I remember, and maybe the train station, if that counts as a city. But
The one city with the
Gastrals.
We found Monaco.
Kestrels, yeah.
Right?
yeah,
So actually,
That
that was one of my biggest issues in the game. Was the world. Game looks
Yeah.
nice. It was very varied. You know, you had your deserts, your forests, your ice places. I thought that little underwater place was cool. I don't know how they were breathing. They were literally underwater, or am I confused? Right at the beginning.
it's a fantasy game.
Okay.
Don't ask too many questions.
Because I was like, wait, how are like fish swimming around and they're just like walking in it? Regardless of which, yes, that was one of my biggest issues of the game. I had the same issue as Xenoblade Chronicles X. There weren't any towns. there weren't any villages, there weren't any cities, there weren't any people to really talk to except for these Kankoro Naruto puppets and stuff. I get it, it fits the story of why they weren't there. So that makes sense, but like, yeah, I mean, part of, to me, a good RPG, a JRPG, is getting to the next town, finding the next equipment, you know, talking to the next group of people, seeing what the next stores have. See, like, it's kind of like a chain of events. Like, oh, you can't wait to get to the next town, the next village, to see what kind of gear they have, what kind of items they have, what kind of armor they have, who's in the village, what kind of characters you can meet, who you can recruit, and like the world looked good and it was cool, but again, it was just, and again, it makes sense for the story, but it was empty, and I wish it wasn't.
Yeah, the whole Nino Kuni comparison was pretty appropriate. It almost looked like it's like Nino Kuni with like a Soulsborne type of art style in a way.
Like, I understand I guess the complaint that it's being empty, but you did mention Bond, like,
There is a
the
reason.
story you're trying to tell. There is a so that's where I have trouble like criticizing it because of that. Because the thing is that if I had a complaint regarding that, I was like, yeah, this is, you know, it's a bit barren. But then again, it was like, ain't nobody really supposed to be on there. That's why you're running into those gestrels. This is the only, you know, and lost souls apparently that you will come across any now and then. But like, I was like, I'm not sure. It's not like you're gonna go into a world full of like just life of like people like the start of the game. So it's like, considering what the story's about, I don't know if that's an accurate complaint.
I mean, once
like,
I got towards like the latter half of the game, I understood. But like probably up until halfway, I'm like, come on, man! Like, where are these villages and towns? Like, I'm just the only people here. There's like nobody. Like, there's not even like a different race of people. They're just like, once you found the Gestral village, I'm like, okay, there might not be humans, but there might be, you know, different species of creatures or stuff that have societies, towns, and villages. But there literally was only one. But once you got to the end, I was like, okay, I get it.
Have you explored like all the other like areas? Because there's obviously places that you don't have to go to. Like, you could beat the game without visiting like a ton of spaces. But
There's a lot of that.
them are a lot of them are still fairly barren. But like there's some with like, you know, a couple of gestrals here and there and whatnot. But I just want to see if you explored all of them. I still haven't, but
That's one thing I can give credit to the game for. It does have a lot of stuff you can do, a lot of side bosses, hidden bosses, all that good stuff.
Okay, so next up we have graphics. Now, am I weird about this? Because the graphics, I think they're good. I don't know how it runs on Xbox, but I felt like the performance was kind of weird at times. Like, sometimes it would stutter during cutscenes or transitions and just act weird at places. I credit that to it being a small development team, so I'm not gonna absolutely crush it. But this only happened to me in the beginning of the game, and I know it didn't change, so it's in my head. For whatever reason, when I first started the game, I thought their heads were huge. Did anybody else think that? I thought Gustav's head, and I'm like, why is his head so damn big? And then I don't know what happened, like 3 hours in, did I get used to them having big heads? Or do they just have big heads the whole time and just stopped bothering me? But I thought they had big ass heads.
Wasn't noticeable to me. I mean, I can't really speak on this because I didn't really have any graphical hitches. It ran on my thing just fine.
PC?
Yeah.
What are you running?
Only thing I can really say is it's French Final Fantasy with a Soulsborne type of art style.
What GPU are you running?
It works. Mine is a GTX 3080, I believe.
I have a 3080 too. I guess I could have tweaked settings, but I just didn't really care. But overall, I like it.
And it's on a laptop too, if that matters.
Oh shit. I mean, overall, I still thought the graphics were good. I like them. They're more realistic. I mean, not to say that I don't like the anime waifu graphics, but it is nice to have a realistic game for once. We have tons of anime games, you know. We can have, you know, an FF7, an FF8, a 10. You know, we can get some realistic games every now and again. There's nothing wrong with that. I appreciate, you know, when they get beat up or the health drops, they start getting covered in blood and bruises and things of that nature.
That's nice to me.
Yeah, definitely. Like, obviously, the drawing point for a lot of people is the graphics, and that's what sort of drew me in personally, because I didn't believe. Oh my, I'm sorry about my background, but I couldn't believe like the graphics looked that good. But then I was like, all right, it's a turn based, so they probably have more wiggle room to actually do that. And when you play it, and that the consistency of the visuals, whether you're in battle, you know, cutscene, or just in the free world like roaming, it's consistent. So it's, I think it's one of the better games, better looking games that we have, like, all generation. As far as how it performs, I played both on Xbox and PC. I played on performance mode on Xbox, and it ran decent. And I played obviously on PC as well. And I have a 4070, but I was able to run it pretty decently. I wasn't like maxed out, but I was able to have be able to do like a clean 1440p, like high base settings, or a little bit above. The only thing I guess I didn't like about it, and I don't know if this had anything to do with just if this was like a art direction, but sometimes a cutscene would hit and the aspect ratio would change, and not just change to like, it'll change, like completely change. You'll get like, you know how you'll get obviously the bars, the black bars up and down, but you also get the black bars sometimes that were like vertical, and that kind of threw me off. And I don't know if that was just like a French thing that I didn't quite understand, but it was that was a bit jarring, because I didn't feel where it was necessary, where it did that, because it didn't do it every cutscene. It would cut, sometimes it will be your regular widescreen aspect ratio that would hit, and then sometimes it will be like this random like vertical one where the bars are on the left and right of the screen.
Do you have like a tracking camera out of curiosity?
Yeah, it's the OBSBot AI. It like, I got to turn off the auto.
Is that the same thing BG
thing.
has, or does he have the 360 link?
I don't know if he has. I know we got the same. It's the same brand, yeah. So they have some of the same features.
Okay, so I'm like,
But I think his actually move, and so I think he has the one that like literally goes left, right. Mine can only really, like, I have to stay within the frame. It can't like follow me all the way.
who got? Did you get yours after his, or did he get his after yours?
I think he been had it. I kind of like stumbled upon it. I didn't buy it. They hit me up, and I just happened to realize, oh, this is the thing.
Oh, yeah, they hit you up. Look at you, Smooth.
Yeah.
Okay.
shout out to-
Graphics for Oban. You still there? He's on mute, so looks like.
I'm here.
Oh, there you go.
Alright, go ahead.
There you go.
Yeah, I think the graphics were really nice. I don't know about the whole big head situation you were talking about, but I did find like most of their. Say what? Hold on.
Can I? So,
Hello?
I think
MD,
it's-
MD, you can go while he's taking care of whatever.
Yeah.
About graphics, I think I've been on PC. I played on PC at the with my 4080 at 4K. I think it was really good, but at the same time, the Unreal Engine 5 I was not happy with. It has a lot of problems, I think, especially when you get into battles. FPS, sometimes 60 FPS if you roam around the world or go to areas, get around above 60 FPS. But then if you play on certain areas, you get around 40, 30 FPS, 50 to 40 FPS, I believe. So yeah, I think the optimization could have been better, but overall they did a great job at certain points here and there. But yeah, it's their first game, so
I will
I
say
can see
this:
why.
they are getting a lot of leeway because it's their first game, because Ubisoft fumbled them, because it's a small budget. So
I think that's part of the reason.
I am more lenient to it.
I think that's part of the reason why a lot of the overhyping is going on too. People just want to overcompensate and overcorrect because it's a first-time developer that came from, a Gestapo camp like Ubisoft.
Not only
Yeah.
that, but they charge $50 for this game when these companies are
Yeah.
looking to charge 80.
It's like it's basically a double A game with triple A game production values.
Yep. Definitely.
But do you think? All right, no, I'll let you guys get through the talking points before I start. I don't want to derail us, but
So this is going to be the most divisive thing, the music for me. So hear me out on this, right? I think the music in the game is amazing and good. But for whatever reason, it is not iconic. And hear me out. You could play any battle theme from a Final Fantasy game. I could tell you what game that is. I could tell you what boss fight that is. I could tell you what boss battle that is. I could tell you what character theme that is. I can identify singularly music and themes for characters in tons of JRPGs. And while this game had tons of amazing music, I didn't think there was. It's weird because the music is good, but nothing was like iconic or thematic. I don't know if this makes any sense, but like, do you kind of get what I'm saying? Anybody? Like, the music is great, but I just didn't feel like it fit certain areas. Like, I'm just used to having like character themes, the boss themes, like certain iconic themes and things like that. It just
The music slaps, but it almost feels like it's more in the background than most RPGs.
there you go. That's exactly what I'm looking for.
Like it's not like out in front and center like a Final Fantasy game and whatnot. It seems like it's just more. Like I said, if you listen to it, individually with beyond playing the game, it's fucking amazing. But when you play the game, it just feels like it's like shoved into the background.
Anybody else?
I don't know if I agree with that. I think I'm not a person that has an ear for music in video games. It's like, it is what it is. I usually don't really value music. I could go with or without it. This is the first game where, well, obviously there's music that's like, you stick with games, you hear it, you know what game it's from and whatnot. Obviously that's obvious stuff. But in traditional gaming today, past gaming music, meant a lot. I feel like gaming nowadays, it is what it is. A lot of it is not memorable at all. I felt like the music had an impact. Like, I've tried to play this game on like mute. I don't know why. I tried, and I was like, let me see if I'm just not lost in the hype. And I was like, it's not the same. Like, this soundtrack is sick. Like, some of the songs were ringing in my head for like 2 weeks. Like, obviously the main theme, like clear, obscure, like that still rings every now and then. But I felt like even from within the battle, like, even when you come across different like characters or like these obtuse characters, they'll have like this wonky music, but it still kind of slaps. And it also intensifies, and that's always an added solution. So I feel like the soundtrack that they got in this game is good enough to listen on its own, but it goes perfectly well with the game. So that's why I disagree when you said it's like the background. Yeah, sure, it's in the background, but it's like it's actually necessary. It's like it's a part of the game that's needed. Like, it doesn't overpower the game, but it stands out on its own.
The only way. See, it's hard for me to explain this to you because this is your only foray into this genre. I mean,
Yeah.
people could say whatever they want about Remake and Rebirth being bloated or whatever, but have you played Remake and Rebirth, Exposure?
Yes, I have beaten them both.
When you play the game, and you hear certain songs, you just become overwhelmed. Like, damn, I remember this point from the original game. I remember these characters. I remember this scene. Like like I said, Expedition's music is good, but like you can legitimately with some of these older JRPG titles identify certain portions of the game, characters down to individual scenes. Like when the Nibelheim theme comes on, like you get what I'm saying, Exposure? Like, or am I just
Yeah. I mean, Final Fantasy VII has one of the best game soundtracks of all time.
all time?
And here's the thing, throughout the, I mean, I do still love Final Fantasy VII, but I kind of think Final Fantasy VII has gotten a little bit overrated over the years. And I still think will still say that Final Fantasy VII has one of the best soundtracks ever.
Yep. MDZ, Oban.
Yeah, I think the soundtrack is good. I enjoy the soundtrack. Yeah, what you guys mentioned about Final Fantasy VII and the series as a whole. Yeah, I do remember the Nibelheim part, or let's say the whole parts about when you go to the. It's a certain spoiler that I do not want to spoil for everyone.
I mean,
but
if you haven't
it's
played
enough for
FF7
people.
by now, dog, and this is
It's an over 20-year-old game.
not only that, but this is
Yeah.
a full spoilers podcast. So
Yeah.
unless Oban, hold on, Oban, have you not played it? And you plan on playing it?
Nah. not
Okay,
really.
go ahead, MDZ then.
Okay. We go to the City of the Asians, and that part was amazing. The City of the Asians. That part to that certain area, and then you go the part with Ariad, where she gets killed. That part was amazing. You get into what's the name? Got the freaking name.
The City of Ancients?
Yeah. I think it's City of the Asians.
Smooth, you see that image on Twitter where I say he got a big head? You two, Exposure?
Let me see.
Look at it
Don't he look like he got a big head when he's in that suit?
Yeah, but
He doesn't look like that when he's in the expedition like uniform, but when you first see him in the suit, I'm like, why is his head so damn big?
Yeah.
I can kind of see what you're saying, but at the same time, it's like
I mean,
I would say it's slightly bigger than normal. I wouldn't say it's like
Smooth's
you made
like
it sound like it was like gargantuan.
no, I mean, he do got a big ass head though, man. Like his head bigger than his whole upper body from like the tie up.
I think.
I mean,
think
people
that
like
was-
that do
I think
exist.
I think that's the suit, dude, because like it. I think it's in that setting. Yeah, I can see why you would say that. I don't think it's a bug or anything. I think it's just the suit. That's the only time he's in that attire.
Exactly. That's why I said after like an hour, I completely forgot about it. But like at the beginning, the first thing I thought, like, why is this motherfucker's head so big? It was
be the suit,
legitimately
it could
bothering
mean-
me for the first hour of the game. I'm like, I can't be looking at this big old that chrome dome, big ass head all game.
I mean, big-headed people do exist. I mean, they are a thing. Maybe that was intentional.
I'm one of them. Shit, I got a big ass head. I ain't afraid to admit it. All right, next up is we have the battle system, and I got some contentious things to say about this battle system. I like it. I enjoy it. I mean, if you played FF10, I mean, there's no, and you like that game. There's no, if you played any Final Fantasy, there's no way you cannot like this battle system unless you wanted an ATB, you wanted an active time battle system going on. I mean, I enjoyed like, you know, the precision. I heard Angry Ho turned off the QTE so he would get perfects. Did you know you could do that, Smooth?
No, you could.
Yeah, you could
What?
turn them off so you get perfect every time, apparently. Angry Ho said he turned them off. I didn't even know you could do that. Hopefully he was being sarcastic, but when I watched it, that's what he said he did. Oh, I just wanted to concentrate on my strategy. I didn't feel like hitting the A
Well, I
button
thought he said-
at the right time.
I thought he said that you couldn't turn the parries off. I remember
No,
him saying that.
not the parries. You know how when you hit a special move, you had the square comes up, the dime, you have to hit the A button.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The QTs. got it,
apparently
yeah.
he turned those off so he would get perfect every time.
Lame.
I'm like, who would even find a way to turn that off? But anyway, like I enjoyed it. I liked it. My only issues with it were let me switch my characters out like FF10. I don't see the reason why you weren't able to swap characters in and out. I thought that the contrary to whatever that moron on Hard 8's podcast was
I'm
saying.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Bond, and this is more so to your when you say switch characters in and out, like at one point you're trying to do that in the battle.
Yeah, so in,
Yes.
so in
okay.
so in FF10, say you had 5 characters at a time, right?
Mhm.
You have 5 characters in this. 3 characters are active, 2 are in the back. You're allowed to switch between your auxiliary characters at any time, as opposed to when your party gets wiped out. Oh, do you want to bring in the second team? So say
Gotcha, correct.
I'm fighting a group of enemies, and I don't know, Shield is stronger than Monaco on these, and you can swap them out in the middle of the fight. Because that also allows you to use more characters than saying, oh, now I got to swap them out in the menu. I got to use him here now. It's just dumb. Just let me use all my characters. It would have been
In
better.
this game, it only lets you use the backup characters if your main party dies.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, that's true, and that's the reason why I didn't go beyond I barely use, you know,
The luminous points.
Monaco and-
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You only use your luminous points on your favorite 3 characters, right?
Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly what I did. Because I'm like, I'm never going to use the other 2. And that was a problem. I didn't use Monica or Shield, and they're probably good characters. But I'm like, by the time I got them,
Monaco, or as the game pronounces it, Monoko.
Monoko.
Was always in my main party.
Yeah, but
Same.
like I'd already dumped so many points into the other ones. I'm like, God damn it! And you know what they should have also done? You could respec, but why weren't you able to respec luminous points? They should have allowed you to do that. My only other issues were, look, I like the Pictos and things like that, but come on, like armor should not just.
You can respect luminous points. Wait.
The blue
Never
points.
Mind,
no,
never
you
mind.
can't.
You're right. That's only pick those you can respect because I just unselect all the ones and then Okay.
And I felt like the weapons were cool. The way the weapons worked and the levels and everything was cool. But like armor needs to do something. Armor just can't be cosmetic. I mean, there are plenty of times in the game where I'm like, damn, I wish I had anti-flame armor or anti-electric armor or anti-earth armor. Like it was giving me Final Fantasy 16 vibes where there's no elemental resistance. Like armored equipment brings up huge strategies in JRPGs, and I felt like, okay, we have the Pictos, but having the armor be cosmetic I thought was a huge miss. Outside of that,
And the fact that the armor was cosmetic made a lot of the side battles and side quests to get them kind of pointless.
yeah. And outside of that, I mean, look, people that are saying that acting like this is brand new when we've had Paper Mario, Sea of Stars, Star Ocean, the Tales series, I mean the Trails series. I'm like, guys, come on,
Bro,
if you're
we had fucking a parry system all the way back in Super Mario RPG in May of 1996 for the Super Nintendo. Okay, get your shit together, Johnny Come Latelys.
Last Odyssey. I mean, like, there's tons of games that feature tons of these systems, and I'm surprised why. Here's another thing that pisses me off. We heard for the longest time that turn-based is trash. We heard for the longest time that QTEs are trash. But all of a sudden, trash plus trash together equals a freaking steak. I don't get it.
Especially from these new school Final Fantasy fans that were trying to fanboy for Final Fantasy. Oh, Final Fantasy, the creators say it could be whatever it wants just to fucking defend God of Fantasy May Cry 16. But now all of a sudden, it's Expedition 33 has revitalized the turn-based. No, it fucking hasn't. Especially when we're talking about last fucking year, Metaphor being in the Game of the Year conversation. Like, what are we on here?
Did BG ever play Metaphor Smooth?
No.
Oh my god. Didn't he say he was going to play the next Atlas game that didn't involve schools?
I believe you said something like that.
Oh
So-
my god. My only other issue. Damn, did I lose my train of thought? Oh yeah, Smooth, because Smooth heard me say this. How many times did the Weapon Wheel community, whether on YouTube, Discord, Twitter, whatever, get on me about FF16 when I said it was not a real Final Fantasy and that it was Devil May Fantasy? They said, no, this is the future of Final Fantasy. Real-time combat, no parties. This is the future. And then all of a sudden, this came out. We went from FF16 being the future to, oh, this is what FF should have been all along. I'm like, yo, y'all can't have it both ways. Like, this is crazy. Like, just 3 months ago, you were telling me turn-based is dead, FF16 should be the future of Final Fantasy, only for another 3 or so months later, or a year later, to say, oh, Expedition 33 proves that this is what Final Fantasy should have been the whole time. I'm like, these frauds, man, they be pissing me off. You remember, right, Smooth?
I now remember the whole thing when Final Fantasy VII came out. It was one of the things that we agreed upon. And I told you, Bond, if I'm going to get a Final Fantasy game, it's going to be 16
See?
because it's not.
You wanted them. You one of the motherfuckers I'm talking about. At least you admit it, though. I mean, I'll give you that, Smooth. At least you admit it. These motherfuckers are looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, dog, 1 + 1. Like, are you? Oh my god, man. That's why I'm so happy I'm not in any of these Discords anymore, Smooth, because like they just be eroding my mind and just peeling layers of white blood cells that can't return with their sheer stupidity, hypocrisy, and contradictions. Like, because they cannot be wrong. And they act like if they're wrong, look, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll admit it. Like I said Streets of Rage 4 was a trash game, and then I ended up loving that game. That's a game that'll never be uninstalled. But they just cannot admit when they're wrong. But that's all I got to say about the battle system.
So
Battle
like,
system.
I heard what you said. So your summary, what is the battle system? Is it like you're saying is good but overrated? Like what is your
I think it's good, but the changes I would have made is I would have had armor and equipment play a bigger role instead of just being cosmetic, and I would like to have been able to switch my characters out on the fly during the course of a battle. I think those two things would have elevated the battle system way more. Like imagine like armor that reduces incoming damage or double damage or reduces flame effects.
You have the Pictos and Illuminas for that.
You do, like, but I'm saying like
That's not original.
every other JRPG has armor, equipment, and Pictos. You have both.
Yeah.
It just didn't like there's like no point of equipment if it's not going to do anything. Like in Final Fantasy, for example, you can have like I don't know, like rings and stuff that block elemental armor, but if you have lightning armor, anything that hits you with lightning, you absorb it. And you just gain all the health.
You have both armor and accessories.
Exactly. You have armor, weapons, and accessories, and you have armor. So you have armor, weapons. So some Final Fantasies you can have helmets, armor, boots, gloves. Then you might get 2 or 3 relic slots, and then you'd have like a system like Espers or the draw stock system. Or materia, which would be like your Pictos system. So you'd have weapons, armor, accessories, and the Pictos all in one.
Okay.
But also, like, yes, Lost Odyssey did do a lot of this beforehand. So, Smooth, I think you should go back and play Lost Odyssey. You could probably download it cheap on Xbox.
Yeah, let me now as far as because everybody says like. Because I feel like it's hard for me to go from what I just played with Expedition to another RPG that might does it. So, what other than Mario? What other RPG, turn-based RPG that allows you to
play Lost Odyssey, Smooth? You could probably get it for $5.
Nah,
I know you got mad money because your pockets be thick because you ain't wasting no money on bets no more. You got $5.
No, I get no, I'm installing it. I'm installing it right now. I have it. I actually have it. I originally owned it from like 360 days a long time.
Yeah,
ago.
play it. It's also made by the creator of Final Fantasy, who left Square Enix.
Sakaguchi.
But yeah, battle system on my end, it was good. I enjoyed it. It wasn't anything original like what these new school Johnny Come Lately RPG fans are trying to cram down people's throats. I would have enjoyed, being able to swap party members like in Final Fantasy X. Also, sometimes the timing for parrying was off. Like there were times where I know for a fact I parried it at the exact right time, but yet it wouldn't do it, and I would take damage. So that could be an issue sometimes.
Question about
but
that real quick. I don't know if anybody else felt the same way. I felt probably up until a third of the way through the game, it would take me 3 battles to adjust to the parry system. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It has a weird timing compared to other games where it's like you can't just hop in and parry. I'm like, damn, I need like 2 to 3 battles to like get that muscle memory going.
You had to learn. You basically had to learn new muscle memory for almost every new enemy that you encounter.
I mean, I feel like the parrying. I get it. Like it was a struggle, but I feel like it became very consistent. I just feel like they want you to do it like essentially right on like landing.
Yeah, once you get the muscle memory, it's good. It's just like, damn, I need it's like warming up on a basketball shot. I need to take a couple of shots real quick before I get it again.
And there were, like I said, there were moments where I know for an absolute fucking fact that I pressed the button at the exact right time I was supposed to because I did it, perfectly before. And for some reason, it just wouldn't register. It didn't happen all that often, but it happened enough to where it kind of became a little annoying sometimes. But other than that, the battle system was fine. It's just not. It didn't bring anything new to the table like a lot of these people are claiming that it did. Like how it revitalized the turn-based RPG. No, it borrows from a lot of older games.
Which all
basically that.
MDZ, what you think?
Yeah, it's basically what the Great Exposer was saying. He definitely borrowed RPGs like Mario RPG, Mario and Luigi, Lost Odyssey. And let's say Pictos reminds me of a bracelet equipment from Final Fantasy. If you equip, let's say, a power increased, or let's say you equip HP increasing, you equip for a higher HP, for example. That's how Pictos are working. What I did like was the skill tree for a bit, but it could have been better at the other point. I did like the parrying, but I could have done it with the Mario and Luigi as well. I could have done it with Mario RPG, but still great, still good nonetheless. I did like the boss fights. I really enjoyed the boss fights because it was fun and challenging, and the parrying was rewarding because of it. So if you parry it in the right way, you get a lot of damage increase from countering. That's what I like about it. And the let's say the bonding system, if you max it out, let's say you get around level 3, you can easily beat the boss without any problem in one shot. If you use Mael, for example.
Yeah, there were kind of wild setups that you could use later on, especially with the chick.
Yeah. But overall, I did like it. Could have been better. Yes, it could have been better. But I think the overhyping for saying, turn-based RPGs is revived. I think I disagree with the whole statement from others, or saying stuff like on on X, like if I cannot parrying, I cannot play any RPG. That's what I read on X, and I was like, really?
let's be real here. A lot of the people that are saying this, and this is another reason why I think the overhyping has happened. This is either these people's first turn-based RPG ever, or it's the first turn-based RPG they played in years. So they're trying to overcorrect, and because of their lack of experience, they're trying to overcorrect and use this game to hype up turn-based RPGs.
Wait, I haven't heard. We haven't heard from Oban J97 before. I don't want to like. You still around?
Yeah.
I just want to know your thoughts on like the combat before I chime in.
Okay. I really enjoyed the combat. I do agree that I wish there were a way how you can swap between characters. Because after I beat Expedition 33, I went and played Sea of Stars, and you can swap characters whenever. But that's my only real complaint about it. And also the other complaint I have is like for the first, I'll say 20 hours, it was just mostly parry and dodge. That was basically it. But then later on, it
Mhm.
started introducing
The
the
gradient
there's
dot or the gradient parry.
Yep.
yeah, the gradient, and then there was the jump, which kind of
Oh yeah.
yeah, it kind of got me kind of. I was like, oh shit, there's still more. So I was all right. Well, guess I'll learn this shit. But other than that, I really enjoyed the combat. The bosses were awesome. There is a like a what is it? Not a secret boss, but there's a boss where his name is Tate, I think, and that really tests your parry, your patience with your parry and your dodge and shit. But other than that, I really don't have any problems with the combat. I really enjoyed it. The pairing was very satisfying whenever you uh, execute it. But yeah, really enjoyed it.
All right. Next up, we got the protagonist, and spoilers, you're already watching. We go from Gustav to Verso, or is Verso always the main character, or what y'all think?
Yeah.
It goes from Gustav to Verso because Gustav dies. Basically, it's that game's Ares moment.
Yeah,
I mean, I honestly thought that Male was the main character the whole time, to be honest.
I thought yeah. Once that happened, I accepted that Mael was the main character.
Like, well, yeah, once Gustav died, I thought she was the main character.
I don't think that really happens till Act 3.
I mean, I just felt that she was the main character. Everything was funneling through her, and especially at the end of Act 2 and Act 3. And, say what you want about Verso, but the nigga just popped up out of nowhere, kind of. And I thought, at first, he looked so much like Gustav. Like, did he just get reincarnated? But he was a whole different person.
I think it went from Gustav to Verso, then Mael, and then at the very end, you could kind of say Verso or Mael, depending on which ending you go with.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is Mael is not 16. She's way older, so all you freaks can stop feeling bad.
Mael / Alicia.
Oh, man. She's like, what, 160 or something? There you go, you freaks.
Yeah, reincarnated, so we can count that.
Yeah. All right. So I didn't get to really comment on combat, but I'm gonna loop it back into the protagonist. Combat. The thing is like I know you guys say all these other games have the ability to parry. You know what I mean? I don't know if every game have the ability to dodge or jump, but my thing is more so the impact of executing those moves, whether you're doing it by yourself or whether the whole party does it and how it like recognize it. I feel like it has this strong impact moment that feels very rewarding when you pull off a parry or a perfect parry. I like how every character has their own, like I think with Verso, everything was about grading his moves so you can get like the most powerful hit. And then Luna, who was the person, she was like essentially my healer. How I used her, and her, you had to get all her elements up, and getting everyone's like gradient move, because I was able to get like max out all gradient moves to get to that like level 3 gradients. I don't know, man. For something that's QTE or like, you know, a turn-based, I feel like it had a lot of impact on these executions, and it also had a lot of like interaction. And I think, and I know you guys like shade a lot of the people, because I'm guilty of like, you know, coining this, you know, world being the like the RPG game or whatever. But the thing is, this is not going to be the game that teaches me how to play RPGs.
It kind of was.
But I don't think I'm going to have the same like experience. 'Cause I feel like what made this game more approachable, you got to think of the age. We're in the age where everybody had just flocked to like Souls games, right? So it had the Souls like element, and you had the turn-based like element. But the thing is, it was a more interactive turn-based than what you typically get. And I think that's why people are more attracted to it. And then it's visually, it looks great. It looks more realistic. It's not like the cartoony anime thing. That's a turnoff to a lot of people who are like, those are catered towards.
Now, Smooth, you be
like,
playing
geeks.
like, what the fuck are those pound puppy, cop puppy dog thing? You be Snoopy's Grand Adventure. What you talking about?
All right, but that's like Pixar like attempt graphics. But I'm talking about like, this was like, it had every element that lured people in, that lured people right in. You know, people are just getting off of or just coming on to the Souls, like with the, you know, I think was it Elden Ring that kind of like brought everybody in. You had that, and then you had obviously the graphics looking good, and then now you have that element was like, okay, yo, this is that turn-based, that it was just appropriate. Is like, actually, so what was peak you had? You know, was it Witcher 3? Remember that brought everybody into like almost the action RPG like phase?
I think a lot of people actually didn't like Witcher 3 or play Witcher 3, but I think Witcher 3
that came after.
I think Witcher 3 was so highly critically acclaimed, even people that didn't like the game couldn't actively avoid it.
Yeah.
Also, I hate to say this, Smooth, and this might be a controversial opinion. I think a lot of people like this game is because the system was brain dead. And by that, I mean this. This game relies more on parries and dodges, where in mostly any other JRPG, the amount of customization, the systems, the orbments, the draw, whatever comprehensive system there is for every JRPG, there are so many endless things you can do. In this game, as long as you could parry and dodge, you could win. You didn't have to spend any kind of time setting up your parties, learning the systems, learning the orbments, learning amounts of status effects. Like, come on, Exposure, you gotta admit, when it comes to those kind of things, it's kind of basic in this game. Am I not wrong?
If you master parry and dodging in this game, it becomes pretty simple. On the other hand, if you can't get your parry and timing down,
you are fucked.
And dodging timing down, you're going to get destroyed. Like, there's no real middle ground. Like, you have to get good at parrying or dodging. I would prefer parrying because I'm pretty sure I don't think the dodging allowed you to do the counter attack. But if you got, if you parried all the attacks, you could do that, single party member or all party member counter attack that does big damage. So you pretty much have no choice but to master parrying in that game.
Anybody else got anything on the protagonist?
I mean, they're okay. Nothing to write home about.
I got the.
Wait, what?
I got a lot to say. Characters is its own section, so we'll be able to continue on. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
This is just the protagonist. Next up, we got the antagonist, and I'm also going to have many controversial opinions.
I think this is one of the weakest areas in the game.
Yes,
personally,
because here's the thing: there really wasn't any bad guys except for Renor, and maybe hypothetically the paintress.
Consider him that. I don't consider him that bad when you consider what.
Oh,
he was
no,
trying
I'm
to do.
gonna get into
Not
that.
bad.
Let me get into this. I got a lot to say, but like, you know, if you have other Final Fantasies and other games, and I know I keep saying Final Fantasy, that's like the template. Like, you know, you had the Emperor, you had Kefka. There's layers and layers and layers and layers of bad guys, bad people, factions, etc. This every boss was insert chromatic monster. Is the same chromatic aberration or chromatic beast or chromatic cow. You know what I'm saying? Like it's literally just a bunch of monsters. There's nothing you were fighting that had a defined goal except for Renor. And you know what?
And even with him, you can argue his motivations are not really villainous.
They're not. You know what? Renor is right. Because this whole fucking game, Smooth, and I'm gonna tell you
God.
now, y'all already know where I'm going.
I know where he's going with this. I know
whole
exactly where he's going with
fucking
this.
game was an expose in Kevin Samuels about how bitches have no
women
accountability. None. That's what the whole theme of the game was. Oh, my son died. I can't handle it, so I'm basically gonna go into some drug-induced delusional world to run away and escape from accountability. Oh, wait, male? I can't handle this either. My face is burned off? Well, I'm gonna get some fake-ass paintress plastic surgery, and I'm gonna escape accountability. Oh, the mom? Oh, I can't deal with my son, so I'm gonna create a dream. Yo, all Renor wanted was his fucking family. But no, these chicks they literally risked their lives to escape accountability, because you stay in the painting, they literally created a pseudo fake world to escape accountability. Hell, when you choose the endings of the game, even Male's ending was escaping accountability. Accountability is like kryptonite. This was feminist instinct through and through. Once I got to Act 3, I was like, these fucking bitches, man. Good game, good story, don't get me wrong, but the main theme of the game was women cannot accept accountability. And the main villain, ironically, was the one trying to keep women accountable.
Yep. At least Mael/Elysius ending was the bad ending.
Yep.
So at least they got that right.
Now what y'all think about that, Smooth?
You're spot on.
Yup.
Now that I think about it, you are spot on. And I was, that's crazy.
You probably thought about me too, like, damn, if Bond was still in Weapon Wheel, he would have been tearing this shit up. I know you thought about it. You're like, damn, good thing BG kicked him, because he would have been on a tirade about this shit.
That aspect kind of makes me appreciate it more, because they made it the bad ending.
Yep. Like, homeboy just wanted to die and go to heaven, and she's like, nope, you can't do that. I need to have my fantasy dream world.
My feelings are more important than your peace.
Yep. She made the whole world a slave to her delusion. And in fact, I'll go as far as to say the main antagonist and the protagonist are both male. It's her. She's both the protagonist and the antagonist.
Okay. I agree with that. When I finished the game, I was like, bro, this entire time, was the antagonist the entire time. And I was like, oh man, like but the thing is, the whole game is a fucking mind trip, though.
The whole game is women dodging accountability. Literally. He knows I'm right. He's speechless.
He's absolutely correct.
Verso was like, I just want to die. Let me leave. She was like, nope, you can't leave. I can't accept accountability. I got to live in this fantasy land. The only thing that wasn't there was I need a guy that's 6 foot tall that makes 6 figures. And then the whole circle would have been complete.
This person in the comments saying, why is being unable to accept the loss of your child not taking accountability? Because you're forcing them to essentially live in your fucking fantasy world and making them suffer. The fuck are you talking about?
Not only that, not only the fake people, but your real family suffered because you essentially abandoned your family for a delusion.
Exactly.
Like that was a good
on now.
that was a good plot twist, because here I'm thinking that the Gamage or the Paintress was something like the Paintress was evil. I mean, technically she was evil, but the Gamage was just Renor trying to chip away at her power. Because she could only save people year to year to year, and Renor was sitting here trying to fight to get his family back, and this chick was just saying, nah, I don't want my family, I'm going to stay in the dream world, and he's just trying to break her dream world year by year by year. Like, the mother was selfish as fuck. I agree, Default.
That's crazy.
her and Mael / Alicia.
Yeah, the women in the women were bad. Oh, also, I had another thing to say, Smooth. How many times do they say they don't like dating simulators? But I'm pretty sure my Verso got some cheeks when his relationship hit the 6. Did yours too?
Yeah.
Oh, but we don't like dating simulators.
And not only that, the relationship system in this game, with a few exceptions, was pretty damn shallow.
So, like, everything people said they didn't like, the QTEs, the dating simulator, the only thing that this game didn't have was a school. And if they had, like, an expedition school in the beginning, then it pretty much would have been full circle. But, yeah, what do you think about the antagonist? What do you think about this move? The whole ending antagonist, the feminist instinct, the ultra ego?
No, I think your take in your summary of it is spot on. But I was in the agreement, and that's what made my decision who I went with a lot easier. Because
who did you go with? I went with Verso dying.
Verso.
I went with Verso. I chose Verso, and I'm ending. It was tough to do because the thing is that I fell in love with Mael, the playable character, right? But I wasn't rocking with her. Once I realized what was happening, I was like, all right, yeah, she's clearly wrong. And knowing that whole entire time, that little boy you kept seeing was that dude this entire time suffering throughout the game. I was like, all right, yeah, this is. But like, I don't know, man. See, this is where I have to give these guys freaking credit, like, because here we are, we get criticize certain points, but here we are talking about it and able to extrapolate all this stuff from it. That means they did something pretty impressive. But yeah, no, all in all, like I will say, Mael was the antagonist. And everybody else is just victims.
Yeah, I 1000% agree. And look,
and we're not saying that they didn't do anything impressive. It worked. A lot of us we're in agreement that it is a good to great game. It's just that all these people talk about best game of all time, game of the generation, 20 out of 10. Y'all need to calm the fuck down. It's not that special.
Now, Smooth, what you think about Shokyo saying 5 hours in, this is a top 5 game of all time? That's a little ridiculous, isn't it?
There's no way anybody could come to that conclusion in 5 hours. That's like these motherfuckers that I saw when Final Fantasy 16 came out. They were all talking about, I'm only 2 hours into the game and I've already cried 16 times. Okay, if you're crying that many times over a work of fiction like that, that doesn't so much as say to the quality of the game itself, more so than it does to your emotional instability. I'm just putting that out there.
Smooth, you cried though.
I cried. Admittedly.
Again.
Yeah. Oh, you cried too, didn't you?
Nope.
Yes, sir.
No, because how I cried at the end.
I'm afraid to admit this, but I didn't cry. I laughed because I was like, these bitches. I was shaking my head. I was like, if this was 10 years ago, right? Before all this bullshit started happening in the world and hit the fan, it would have had a more impact. It might have had a more impact on me, but the fact that I've experienced this in real life, seen many men experience this in real life, and just see it all around me pretty much every day at work, I'm just like, God damn it.
Here's the thing, and I know that I am really in the minority with this. I have never understood why people would cry over a work of fiction, whether it be video games, movies, whatever. I know my brain associates it with, okay, I know that I still feel whatever emotion they want me to feel internally, but it never expresses itself outwardly because I know that what I am experiencing is fiction. It's not real.
Not Old Yeller?
Nope.
Not what was that? Iron
closest.
Was that Iron Will with the sled dogs? You didn't cry on that?
I don't think I've ever seen that. The movie that came the closest, and it still didn't accomplish this, was a movie called Hachiko: A Dog's Tale. It's because number one, like you alluded to, it's dogs. That's a big soft spot for me. And two, that's based on a true story. That actually happened. So yeah, it came the closest, but that didn't even make me cry.
I think the saddest game I've ever played was Terranigma.
I played it, but I never finished it.
That ending, I was just like, Jesus.
Somebody mentioned.
I don't want to talk about it if you never played, you plan on playing, but like that ending, I was like, God damn.
I've played a little bit of it. But somebody mentioned I Am Legend with a Dog. Nope, I know it's a work of fiction.
And another reason is I can't cry on anything Fresh Prince anymore. You know what? I'll take that back. I mean, there were some moments in Fresh Prince, like with his dad and Uncle Phil, that were a little tearjerker.
I remember that.
I won't say like I didn't get any emotions, any fiction, but like I mean, I remember when Hogan joined the NWO, people were mad as hell all week. On the school bus in the morning, people were mad as shit.
Yeah, I was never caught up in that. I actually thought that was fucking cool as hell if that happened.
I had to throw out my vitamins.
Then again, I was always a heel guy. So,
oh man, anybody have anything else to say about the antagonists and the Kevin Samuels-esque ending?
I have something to say about the emotional part that happens.
Okay.
It happens with the Mashiba part from Hajime no Ippo. That part was like,
God damn.
I hate that.
Yo, that was painful to read because I don't know if you follow me on Twitter, but that's my most read manga right now. I did follow. That was painful to read because they built him up so much. He went through his whole character arc. This manga's been going on since 1988. And then that motherfucker just like when Kimura happened. But instead of what Kimura happened, he's retired and just had spinal damage. And I hate to say it, but Sendo about to get packed up next.
Yeah.
Sendo gonna get packed up.
It's going to happen.
One of the
I think it's
one of the more sadder mangas animes I've watched also is Ace of Diamonds. Like baseball is brutal. But next up we got characters. Now we can talk about the characters individually: Mal, Shield, Monaco, Verso, Gustav. I think they had a pretty decent party, but was there too much girl power? What y'all think?
Yeah, I would say it's probably too much girls, right? Because
I think they needed one more character to round it out.
I was just about to say that, not only to, even out the male feminine dynamic, but also because when your main party dies and your backup party comes in, you only have two characters as opposed to three.
You expect a whole backup, because you could have had two squads.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the characters. They had some are they technically backstories and they're all fabricated? I mean, the one chick couldn't swim. She had an abortion. Male's whole fabricated thing. Verso.
They were all in a fantasy world. Therefore, they were all fabricated.
Yep. And it's crazy because do they ever explain this anywhere? They said that the writers burnt their house down. And that's how Male got disfigured.
They never get into the whole writers versus painters thing.
Yeah.
They allude to it, but they do nothing with it.
So hopefully they make a sequel and you play as a writer or the writers versus the painters, because like I could definitely see a sequel. Well, there's multiple painted worlds you would have to go to as a writer, or who knows, maybe you're invading painters worlds, you have to destroy their worlds from the inside. Like I could definitely see a sequel to this is definitely warranted, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a sequel. It could just be a whole different entry in a series, just like how Final Fantasy games are individual as well.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I thought the characters were fine. I mean, okay, yeah. My biggest complaint about the game, I can't believe I've never talked about this yet. Platforming has no place in this game.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Why am I jumping on logs across beaches, across platforms, and anytime I run and jump, I roll and I slide off? Like, yeah, you know
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I appreciate the addition of it. It was an interesting thing to add to a turn-based RPG, but the implementation, it was terrible.
Yep.
It was horrible.
That was easily the weakest part of the game, and only reason I was able to forgive it because these were optional things, and you try to get on that whole completionist run, and you want to get get to the end of it, but I was like, all right, I can't do some of this thing because it doesn't work. The platforming doesn't work with that game. It seems like it was like a last, like an afterthought, something they added in to sort of buff out the gameplay, the mix it in, and it wasn't needed. It is by far like the weakest part of the game because I don't think it's not it doesn't feel right. It's not snappy. It's not natural. It feels like it doesn't work because I feel like I'm on roller skates. When I'm platforming some of the things that they try to have you do.
You know the giant tower, you go up to the very, very top.
Oh.
You want to hear something crazy?
Oh, God.
It took me 24 minutes, but I beat it on the first try without falling. How crazy is that?
I rage quit that.
Yeah, I wish when I did that, I was like, yo, I need Smooth to stream this bullshit.
Yeah, I rage quit out of that. That's why. Well, all right. So you know how the dude was like getting on me on X saying I rage quit.
Yep.
It wasn't the fight. It was I rage quit. I quit out of I stopped doing that. Because I tried for like an hour and then I would hit a new milestone and then fall back and you start literally from there. I was like, come on, man.
You start from the very beginning because when I got to the top, I just jumped all the way down.
Yeah.
That shit was crazy.
Default in the comments. Where do you find out the information about the writers and the painters? End of Act 2, into the start of Act 3.
It's a cutscene where the older sister is explaining, hey, you need to jump into painting and get mom out.
Yes.
The older sister was kind of like one of the only rational people besides Renora.
Yeah. And she was barely even in the game.
Yep.
What does that say? I wonder what message they're trying to put out there.
Listen to your older sister.
No, the fact that she's barely even there is like, yeah, we don't have time for all this rational nonsense.
She's a pick-me. Right, Smooth?
Yeah,
she's
exactly.
She's a pick-me.
Oh, wow.
She's a pick-me. She's male-centered.
She's an enemy of the sister.
They are enemy of the sisterhood. Supporter of the patriarchy.
She has internalized misogyny.
I really do hope, and I agree that the writers should have had a bigger focus, so we could have definitely had some. I mean, look, they're gonna make a sequel probably. It'll have the writers in it. The problem is, people are gonna be asking who the hell are the writers when they could have,
Yeah, because it was just one small cutscene.
One throwaway line. Yep, because Default even said where were the writers even mentioned? So
I'm sorry, I can't get over that.
I know.
A woman not taking accountability.
So, MDZ, Oban, you guys got anything to say about the characters? Who's your favorite characters? Mine was the healer. I liked her.
It's Luna, right?
Yeah, I wish she put some shoes on them dirty ass feet though.
Nah, keep it off.
Keep it off.
Hey, that makes her Quentin Tarantino's favorite character.
Yeah, I wish Loon was putting on some damn shoes. Like I'm tired of looking at your dirty ass feet.
Yeah, no, I liked her a lot too. I like Shield too. I didn't get to play with my, but I like her character, the interactions. That's the one who I like he got some buns from.
Oh, yeah.
My
Yeah,
main party was
I got Shield too.
my main party was always Gustav / Verso, Lune, and Minoko.
Yeah.
And then I had
nice.
Mael / Alicia and Skell, whatever her name is, in the background.
I think every team needed Loon because pretty much the only healer. Like you had to have her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I had
At least
her
by
with
default,
that.
yeah.
I had her with that ice healing wall thing, where every time she would hit ice, it would heal the team every turn. And I had it set up so anytime my team was healed, they'd get buffed by every status effect, like shield, powerful, defense, more AP, everything. So it's just an endless cycle of healing and buffs and more status and more AP. I just kept round and round we go.
Yeah, I did that up until I had a lot of combos, like because I had like confident on like I had to the point where I could oh my god, there was like a stack that I had like obviously I had like roulette, confident, and a quick turn where everybody gets to go like twice.
Yeah, you gotta have that.
And I had the thing is I think confident is what reduces your damage, but you increase it reduces the damage you deal, but it reduces the damage you take by a lot. But I had to stack it with something that brought my damage like back up. So it was like just so I could keep like a balance, so I'm not like fighting all day. But I had a situation where I kept Luna to be the healer, but honestly, really to heal herself essentially. While the other people, it took a while to even get them to like death essentially, because Luna could revive people, but what I had is you couldn't heal them. But she could revive them. So I kept her like unfazed, and if Mael or Verso would die in battle, I would always have her AP up to hit the revive them and start that whole process over again.
Another thing I dislike now that I think about it is like, why were we only able to have a select amount of moves? If I learn it, I should be able to use it.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah. Because you can only equip like, 4 of them at a
I think
time?
it was like 6 or something.
Yeah, 6, I think.
Yeah, like if I learn it, I should be able to use it. Like, why do I only got to equip it certain amounts? That was lame.
I mean, we've been pointing out the game's virtues too, but all throughout this stream, we've been pointing out the flaws too, and there's been quite a bit. So that kind of makes it hard to be considered game of the generation, like some of these people are trying to claim it is.
Or best JRPG ever, or best
Exactly.
Wait. No. You can. I think it has a good argument for game of the generation only because when we're considering the generation, we're talking about the PS5 generation, right? What else is game? What can we say definitively is that so far?
Let me pull up my.
I mean, Exposer, he does have a good point. This generation has been weak as hell.
Yeah, I mean, if that's true, but there's still been great games before Expedition 33, and not only that, the generation isn't even over yet. So what are we talking about?
I mean they're talking about as of now. I mean, obviously when GTA 6 and stuff comes out.
Yeah, I was about to say that's pretty much going to be a shoe-in for potential game of the generation right there, and it's not even out yet. Unless they just fumble the bag so profoundly hard, I mean, that game's pretty much on lock.
I mean, I don't know. We thought Cyberpunk was on lock. No,
I didn't. I saw the red flags even before it came out.
There's no way Rockstar.
I didn't think it was
this.
I mean, it could happen, but I mean,
it's not impossible.
If it doesn't, it's pretty much on lock. I have a whole list here because this is another video idea I've wanted to do. I wanted to do a video where I list all my favorite games or my top 5 favorite games from the year in which I was born up until now. So I have a whole list here of my game of the years for these past few years that I think could be better in terms of game of the generation than Expedition 33. I highly doubt Expedition 33 is going to be my game of the year. It might make top 5, but a lot of the heavy hitters that have yet to come out are going to have to profoundly shit the bed in order for Expedition 33 to be my game of the year.
You
Oh
think?
wait, so your game. All right, so just be sorry to break, but what are these games that are soon to come this year that you anticipate to take to pretty much claim that?
Ninja Gaiden 4,
Oh.
the two there's Ninja Gaiden Ragebound, and then there's the Shinobi game. Ghost of Yotoi is coming out. They just announced there was another I don't know about this one. It's potentially Silent Hill F.
Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah, does that come out this year?
Yeah, and I guarantee you Nintendo's going to have some kind of big hitter this holiday. They're not going to go the next 5 months and not release something crazy for the holiday. Cuz they have 5 to 6 months to release something huge. They released Mario Kart, which is smart. Say what you will about Mario Kart, it's their biggest game. They're going to use that to drive up the install base. So it's the smartest game to release early, but they're going to have something that they're going to announce at the end of the summer that's going to be a blockbuster for the fall Christmas time. So last topic we got is
hold up. I just got my list here. As far as like game of the generation compared to Expedition 33, I would say this is bordering on, well, actually no. Let's go ahead and, because that's kind of on I was about to say Doom Eternal, but that's kind of on the borderline of last gen and this gen.
That's last gen. It came out in 2019.
2020.
Marvel Spider-Man 2, I think I don't necessarily agree that it's game of the generation, but I think it's a little bit better than Expedition 33. Hogwarts Legacy for sure. Hogwarts Legacy definitely.
Rebirth.
I think is better than Expedition 33.
Rebirth.
The Final Fantasy. I don't know about Rebirth. I liked Remake more than Rebirth. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, I think, was better than Expedition 33. Silent Hill 2 Remake, I think, was better. Street Fighter 6, I think, is better, but that's ongoing.
Here's a question, Smooth. You talked about how you wanted like a tactile response of like dodging and blocking and parrying in an RPG. How come you never played Remake and Rebirth?
I played Remake on PS4. That's the first one, right?
Yep.
The first of the remake.
Are you still got your vendetta against Square Enix?
I have a vendetta against Square Enix.
You got a vendetta against Bethesda too.
I didn't have a vendetta. I just didn't like the games that everybody liked. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like the Bethesda in the last like 5 years have been better than Bethesda for all I could remember. I just prefer their later games. But no, I don't know. Like, I tried playing Final Fantasy 7. It's just like, okay, I really don't see it. When I played Final Fantasy 16, I played the demo. That's why I said I would be more interested in that.
But you can block, you can dodge, you can parry in Remake and Rebirth. All the things you say you like to do.
Yeah, I don't know. I just played again.
And it's not anime either. It's realistic graphics.
Yeah, it's also, but though those games are too damn long.
Remake, no. Rebirth, yes.
Yeah, Rebirth. I liked Rebirth, but Rebirth did wear out its welcome. And what I said earlier about Final Fantasy VII kind of starting to become overrated in my eyes, Rebirth is what really made that click, because Rebirth focuses on the whole second act of Final Fantasy VII. And in hindsight, that whole second act, once you get out of Midgar, it kind of starts to drag a little bit. You start to go into a bunch of barren and boring towns, with the exception of the Golden Saucer. It just becomes a lot more boring. And then once Act 3 happens and you start to get into the final battle, that's when it picks back up again.
Well, I always thought FF7 was overrated simply because of the fact that people say it's the best game and best JRPG when it's not even the best Final Fantasy. So it's not
Final
a
Fantasy VI
bad game, but you can't
Yeah.
get the best game of all time and the best Final Fantasy all time when you're not even the best Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy VI was light years better.
I agree. So
D'Angelo in the comments, bruh, South of Midnight was better than Spider-Man 2. Bullshit. Beer fucking cap. I played South of Midnight. South of Midnight is good. It's decent. It ain't better than Spider-Man 2. Get the fuck out my face with that.
Damn.
all right, so the last topic we got before we get out of here is just the overall story of the game. And I honestly think that was the strongest part of the story. It was different. It was something, I can't say that's never been done, but it was definitely something unique. It had its definite plots that were twists and turns and surprises. Did not expect Gustav to die. Did not expect the Paintress to be what the Paintress was. I thought the Paintress was the main villain. Did not expect Renor to do what he did and just delete everybody. Did not expect Mail and the Paintress to be the main bad guys. Did not expect Renor and the older sister to be the good guys. Like, did not expect the endings. I mean, a lot of twists and turns that kept me on my toes, and I kind of liked playing it because it was kind of like a mystery. I'm like, I just want to know what happens next. Unfortunately, I thought Act 3 was the worst act and the least appealing act out of all of them, because you probably could have gone right to the very end in Act 3. You didn't have to explore, did you? You could have gone straight south, couldn't you?
I think you could have. I didn't.
I didn't either.
I ended up. Yeah.
But the problem is that I didn't go directly south because I explored the whole world, defeated everything, and did everything. Literally, by the time I went to the main boss, I killed him in one hit. Like, it was so anticlimactic. I'm like, damn, I should have fought the main boss at the beginning of Act 3. But Smooth, I literally went through every inch of the world in Act 3, beat every side boss, beat every boss, found every equipment, found every pit. I did everything. I went back and beat every chromatic motherfucker there was that ever gave me an issue. I stomped out everything. And then when I got to the last guy, I was probably almost at level 90. And when I came back, I just wiped him out. Like, I wiped out Mail in one hit with Gustav. Just mopping everybody. I was like, God, and you know, that's not a problem simply with this game, though. A lot of these JRPGs, it's not the final boss who's the hardest boss. It's always the second to the last boss who's the hardest boss. And the last boss is some easy story tomato can pushover to the ending.
Yep, that makes sense. For me, story was good to great. Nothing, with the exception of, you know, the moral of the story being that women can't take accountability and they want to live in a delusional fantasy world. With the exception of that, I mean, it was a fantasy type game. For me, fantasy type games, those stories kind of go off the rails near the end, and Final Fantasy is no different. With the exception of 6. 6 is the only one that has a consistently good story all throughout. But, you know, I enjoyed it. But here's the thing. I think one of the main reasons why this game is getting overhyped so much is because people are so hyper fixated on the story. Oh, this game's amazing. The story was incredible. The story this, story that. Listen, okay? This is not my opinion. This is not even an opinion at all. This is a 100% stone cold, demonstrable, objective fact. Story is not, I repeat, not the most important be-all, end-all element of what makes a game good. It can affect the overall quality of the game, yes, but it is not the number one most important element. If you think that story is the number one most important element of any piece of artistic media, you should either go read a book or watch a movie. This is a video game. Gameplay is what takes precedence over everything. And that's not to say that this gameplay is bad. We've said that the gameplay is good all throughout. But people prioritizing story over gameplay in any genre of gaming, you're wrong. Factually, it is not an opinion. It is not up for disagreement. If I can experience a game story without even having to play the game, if I can go on YouTube and watch a Let's Play or sit next to somebody, watch them play it and experience the story that way, and I don't have to engage with a game the way it was meant to be engaged with, by default, it cannot be the most important element of a game. It just can't.
Oh, well, I have to disagree because when it comes to
You
this,
can disagree, but you're wrong.
when it comes to this particular genre, and only, I mean, unless you count visual novels, which I don't even count as games, but when it comes to this particular genre of menu clickers, or you can just literally play the game with one of these while chilling back like this and relaxing. I don't need any precision. I don't need any aiming. I don't need any aim down scopes. I don't need to hit any
To be
combos.
fair, you do kind of need that in this game a little
I
bit.
mean, I could just use the PlayStation Move and just sit around here and do this. I don't really. It's not hard. But when it comes to this genre, when it comes to any of the top JRPGs, nobody is going to tell you that Final Fantasy VII or even Final Fantasy VI is one of the best games of all time because of its battle system. They're always going to tell you it's because of the story and the characters.
It's because in that case, it's because of both. Both the gameplay was solid and the story was good. A great gameplay can always compensate for a poor story. But great story, I don't care if it's the best story ever fucking written, will never be able to compensate for bad gameplay.
Well,
That's part of the reason.
I could,
That's part of the reason why this game is considered good, even though we're saying it's overhyped. It's because both the gameplay and the story are solid.
I could argue that Final Fantasy V has better gameplay than
I agree,
4,
and that's why
4 and 6 with the job system. But 4 and 6 to me are way better games because they have better story and better characters.
See, here's the thing. Even if a story is better than the gameplay technically, the gameplay still has to be good.
Agreed.
Okay? The gameplay still has to be good. We're not talking about like, oh, the story is better than the gameplay, therefore the story is more important. No, the gameplay still has to, either match the quality of the story or just be good. So if the gameplay is not there, I don't care if you have the best written story ever made. You have nothing. Period. Doesn't matter if it's a menu clicker. Doesn't matter if it's a fighting game. Doesn't matter. I mean, some of the old school games on the NES really didn't have a story.
True.
I mean,
And
what
they're
do you
still
think?
regarded as some of the greatest of all time.
What do you take of Telltale's The Walking Dead or Life is Strange? Like
I
Well-
consider those visual novel type games in that genre.
First of all, I've never played a single Life is Strange game, so I can't comment on those. But I have played Telltale's first season of Walking Dead. In the context of what the gameplay for that is, it's good. It is a point and click. It's essentially a glorified point and click game. Okay? There's different types of gameplay styles. See, if you implement a gameplay style well, that's good gameplay. Walking Dead season, I never played beyond season 1. Walking Dead season 1 implemented the point and click style gameplay very well. And I'm not even a huge fan of point and click games. And I'm saying that. So it had good gameplay to back up its story.
We're gonna have to get some JRPG vets to have this conversation in the future, but we've been at it for a while, and I appreciate you coming down here. So we've been at it for 2 hours. Anybody got any closing thoughts, MDZ? I mean, first of all, like overall ratings to MDZ. We could repeat those.
Yeah.
You there?
NES era.
Your mic is like really low and cutting out.
Barely hear you.
My phone here. So can you hear me now? Clear?
Yep.
It's now better. Yeah. I do agree with the great exposure about the NES part. That most RPGs, like for example Final Fantasy 1, 2, and 3, doesn't have the story.
There's barely a story there.
Hey,
Yeah,
we
better
got the Light Warriors, the Crystals.
Yeah, you agree. I agree with that one. But it's a bit simple. Let's say
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah,
it
it's simplistic.
started to have it started to have an effect in Final Fantasy 4 until 6. And 6 is where according to Sakaguchi, it was complete.
It all came together.
I
Yeah,
I
all
would
came
say it
together.
all came together with 4. I think 4 was like, damn. 4 is when I fell in love with the genre. I was like, damn.
Four's good, but it kind of goes off the, like a lot of fantasy games, kind of goes off the rails near the end when you find out the real villain is on the moon and you have to do all that.
And everybody revives. They didn't really die.
Yeah,
Final Fantasy 4 was good. I like Final Fantasy 4.
it's
Really
good,
great
but like
game.
I said, the story kind of goes, and this happens with a lot of fantasy type games. Even Final Fantasy story kind of goes off the rails near the end.
Yep.
Final Fantasy V story is very basic too. Most people remember that game because of its gameplay, the job system, which kind of proves my point.
That Americans are too
Yeah.
dumb and we never got 3 and 5 because the job system was too complicated.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, even 7 goes off the rails a bit near the end. 8 goes off the rails when you find out that your main villain is a witch from the future who's trying to compress time.
Final Fantasy
9
9.
Final Fantasy 9,
Necrons.
9 goes off the rails
There's-
once Garland shows up in the airship.
Yeah, they're Saiyans. They're alien Saiyans from another planet or some shit.
Gnomes, and then after you beat Kuja, you have to fight Necron.
Yeah,
Nowhere.
That was the worst. That was the worst part of the game. The final boss literally comes out of nowhere.
Final Fantasy X went off the rails when you find out that Waka is fucking his brother's fiance and having her kid.
Well, that doesn't happen until 10-2.
I know, but it's
Final
so
Fantasy,
wild.
Final Fantasy 10 goes off the rails when you find out that Tidus is basically a dream character.
Yeah, like that. I thought that whole Waka, like, smooth. Imagine, like, God forbid something happened to you, and then you had a brother. Now your brother is married to your wife. Like, what the fuck? Like, I
And
thought
then you
that
have
shit was
Final-
wild.
And then you have Final
Mr.
Fantasy.
Bazinga moment.
Then you have Final Fantasy 13, which was never on the rails to begin with. That story just sucked ass.
Who in Weapon Wheel beat Expedition so far?
I don't know. I think BG might have finally done it. Jack Move. I don't think Jack Move is messing with it. I don't know. I think so far only me. I'm not sure if
Shit.
BG finished it yet.
I was told I don't play new games. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. That and we've had 2 MechWarrior games in the last 6 months, and I can't spam PPCs in the chat, so that kind of sucks too. But yeah, my overall rating for the game, lowest it can be is a 7.5, highest it can be is an 8. Exposure, you said 7-8.
I'm at an 8.
You're at an 8.
Solid 8. Solid 8 out of 10.
I'm at
Good,
8.
great game. I don't think it's going to be. It could be my game of the year, but I highly doubt it's going to be. It's probably going to be in my top 5. But this whole glazing needs to fucking stop.
I got 8.5 with a hopeful for the sequel, which I think could really do some good shit. What?
Oh, there's probably going to be a sequel for sure.
There better be. MDZ, what do you got?
Between a 7 and 8.
And
I
Smooth?
think.
Oh, sorry.
I think the story was good, but it was not that good. If you play, let's say, other games, you expect a bit more from it.
I like the
let's
story.
say
I
you-
thought it had a very good lesson that people need to take and consider. I mean,
But going back to sorry to cut you off, but going back to Angry Ho for a second. His review was just full of disingenuous glazing too. I mean, he was even pointing out, he's like, yeah, the game didn't do a good job with exposition throughout most of the story. The party building / status UI isn't very intuitive and needed more tutorials.
it was basic. What the hell is he talking about?
Yeah. Well, regardless, that's what he said.
Ugh.
He said the map of the overworld sucks. The relationship system was shallow, which for the most part I agree.
I will agree with the map.
there-
The map was kind of whack.
Yeah. He said there were some audio bugs here and there, but 10 out of 10, game of the year contender. Like, do you hear yourself, my man? You listed a whole bunch of flaws there. So how are you gonna fucking say this is a 10 out of 10 game?
Africa 9.5.
Like, seriously.
What'd you think, Smooth? Would you give
Oh,
it
yeah,
a
no,
12
this
out of 10? 13? Broke the
Almost.
scale, Big Shirley?
I'm going to say, I think I immediately after I finished, I think I said it was a 10 out of 10, but 9.5 to 10. Like, I think gloves are. I ain't being shy about it. I think it's the best game I played in a long time. This is I'm one of the ones that said this is like a game of the generation type of game. This is a game that I brought me back to a genre that I ran away from a long time ago.
You ran.
And it did a really good job at doing it, at adding everything I like in like an action game into the turn-based, a story that I can easily understand, didn't have to do too many researching. The graphics was on point. Come on, guys, the graphics was on point. I don't know. I don't have that same. Again, maybe this is because I don't spend. I didn't spend years like going through all the universes of like turn-based RPGs and stuff like that. So I guess
That's
my
probably exactly what it is.
expectations are a lot lower. But this is like, it's just from a game. Like, I had more fun with this game than I had in traditional games I would typically go for.
So does that mean
like-
you're going to play and try more turn-based RPGs, Smooth? Look, I am the turn-based god here. If you want recommendations, tell me what you're looking for. Tell me the characters you like, the story you want. It's on one of these shelves that you can play. It's definitely on one of these places.
I'm willing to try some, but I just don't want to get myself hyped up that every experience I'm going to have moving forward in turn-based is going to be the same. I really think they did something special.
If anything, it's probably going to be better.
Yeah, this could be the Pandora's box. I mean, I'm not there on Weapon Wheel anymore. You could be the new RPG guy. You already got Bethesda going. You play their games. You start playing JRPGs. You could be the new RPG guy. But yeah, I would start out with Lost Odyssey. But dead ass, like if you like this kind of game, you like this kind of genre, and you want recommendations, just tell me the type of game you're looking for. It exists on this shelf. I will pull it out and be like, buy this game, download this game, play this game. I think Final Fantasy X will be a good game for you to play too. It's got an HD remake or remaster. And that's a very... I think, I'll be honest with you. There are two JRPGs I would recommend for anybody to get into JRPGs. It would probably be Dragon Quest XI or FF10. And if you're not really into like the Toriyama Dragon Ball Z, FF11, Dragon Quest XI art style, I definitely think Final Fantasy X is the gateway into the genre. It's pretty.
If you're willing to go back even further to like, the sprite pixel based type of stuff, Final Fantasy VI and Chrono Trigger are must plays.
Speaking of that,
Definitely Chrono Trigger.
Did you hear that Blandrew never beat Chrono Trigger?
I was shocked as well.
Did you hear that, Smooth?
No, actually.
All
no. When
that
did you say this?
Nintendo corporate cocksucking and RPG LARPing and loving, and he said it's 2025. I should probably finally beat Chrono Trigger. I was appalled. I would have roasted his ass on Weapon Wheel, but yeah, I mean, they do have Final Fantasy X remastered or remade or whatever. I would and look, that game is easy to follow. There's no world map. They took it out for that game, so you can go straight ahead. I would recommend that or Lost Odyssey. In fact, I would probably recommend Final Fantasy X before Lost Odyssey to get your feet wet.
Yes, I agree with that.
And then from Final Fantasy X, I go to Lost Odyssey, and I feel like if you beat those two games, then the genre will either completely open up for you or like, this ain't for me.
And here's the thing, Expedition 33, some people say have a sad ending. I mean, you might be one of those guys that cry at the end of Final Fantasy X.
Not to mention that Final Fantasy X's battle system is very much like Expedition.
Yes, agreed.
And yes, Monako is just a blue mage too. He's Kamari. So
or Kate Sith.
Yep. I would Do you have a PlayStation, Smooth? PS5? I mean, look, you can get it on PC, you can get it on anything. It's FF says on it. You can get it on Switch, you can get it on PC, PlayStation X, you can get it on anything. But here's the real question, Smooth. The real big question of the night. Because I have not bought a console since the PlayStation 3, and I really don't feel like buying a new console. How many weeks on Planet Xbox would I have to sign up to for the Switch 2? How many weeks on Planet Xbox would I have to sign up for the Switch 2?
Just make a few more bets.
I don't even do Planet Xbox anymore.
Why not? Maybe you just need some more characters on it, man.
No, I gotta find a I don't know. It's hard to have a designated podcast regarding the Xbox, and they're not really like a competing platform anymore. So it makes it like kind of like I don't think I'll make a Ubisoft podcast or EA podcast.
I mean, it could still be Planet Xbox. So you can talk about other things.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, like
how many episodes you need, Smooth?
If I bring it back, I don't know.
I always do it. I keep saying every time I'm gonna switch that. I'm gonna do it literally right after this. I'm gonna switch because I'm so used to scrolling page up, page down. I do it all the time. Did it come back?
Yeah, it's back now.
Somebody said I hit the button again. Yep. I'm switching that straight to my Stream Deck right after this. I keep doing that. I hate that shit. But yeah, think about it, Smooth. You know, you sign me up for a year for that Switch too.
I mean, they're already reporting. Certain people are reporting hardware. This is why I have this rule where I don't buy new pieces of gaming hardware for at least the first year of its lifespan.
I agree,
because there's already issues being reported with the hardware side of things.
I mean, come on, Smooth. You gotta admit, Weapon Wheel probably ain't as fun without me anymore.
I mean, there's definitely less. How can I say?
Nah, because that Jazzy nigga be instigating way too much more than I ever did, and he don't be.
You think Jazzy instigating?
He don't be debating either. He just be instigating topics. He don't even make any points. I mean, sometimes you do, but he purposely be instigating. Me, I was making points that people couldn't refute, and that's why they were getting pissed off. I popped.
Well, you see, to them, that's one and the same. You got to understand that.
No, but
there were good times, Smooth, but it's the past, unfortunately.
Yeah, we could have. If only that. I will say, I will admit, wish you could have seen the release cycle through Expedition, etc., going into the summer through. I think I would have liked to see that interaction.
Oh, Expedition, 2 MechWarrior games. Oh, we I would have been having VR flopping. I would have been having some fun. All right, we're about to wrap this up, but I like this format. I'm going to start doing these more. Anybody who wants to enter my Discord, enter. I'm going to keep the link in any of my chats, so whenever I do one of these videos, you want to pop on in, you are more than welcome to. You still there, Smooth?
Yeah, I'm here.
Appreciate you coming through, MDZ, Oban. Great exposure. I mean,
No problem.
Great exposure. Yep. I think you're going to probably want to come on some of my later videos, because you always got a lot to say.
Oh, of course.
But yeah, think about it, Smooth. Let me know the terms and conditions. I mean, hold up. Let's see real quick right here. You got 9 bets right now, Smooth. Let's see.
You want me to trade them in for a Switch?
Yeah, 9 bets. 9 bets times 60. Oh, I'm sorry, my math is all messed up. 9 times 60. That's $540 right there, Smooth. I'll let you out of all your bets and you can save $40.
Pretty good deal.
You'll save $40 if you send me a Switch right now.
Oh man, nah, if I'm on the verge of losing them all, that's definitely something to consider.
I mean, you never know, Smooth.
I mean, you got to look at your betting history. It doesn't look that. The
Hey, shut
probability's
up!
not that good.
You shut up. You shut up. But yeah, Smooth. I mean, if you ever have any more Metacritic bets you want to make, you can always hit me up. I'm only a tweet away. All right, boys.
All
I
right.
will catch you guys later. And
All right, man.
I would have bet my life that Shokyo wasn't going to show up, and I am still alive.
You would have been correct.
I'm still alive because dog, like nothing again.
I mean, how could you show up when you say 5 hours in, this is one of the greatest games of all time? How can you justify that?
Nothing against Shokyo, but I always wondered, man, how does this nigga keep a job or a girl? Because he is the least punctual person I have ever known in my entire life. But shout out to Shokyo.